You know, you really need to know this. In the pantheon of American politics, Edward Snowden is the little boy who said that the emperor has no clothes. Right? He has forced us to acknowledge and have a conversation about something we should have known all along, and you know, many of us in some ways did or suspected that ever since Congress approved the Patriot Act in the first year of the Bush-Cheney administration, our national security and intelligence apparatus has become increasingly large and dangerously invasive. We first caught wind of the brave new world of the surveillance state in 2006 when the New York Times revealed the Bush administration's NSA-operated warrantless wiretapping program. Right? Remember when Senator Obama promised an end to what he called the failed policies of my predecessor, of George W. Bush during his first presidential campaign? Yeah, many of us thought what that meant is that he was going to rein in this whole giant security machine, whatever. I mean, he did do some very, very positive. Yeah, he stopped the torture. Although it hasn't been legislatively stopped, it could be restarted if a new president were to come in and just sign a different executive order. You can't lay that at Obama's feet. I mean, we've got a problem with Congress right now. But, you know, he's done some good. He stopped using the war on terror as a phrase. He gave a very good speech on national security the other day and has changed some of our policies. But by and large, this giant national security institution hasn't changed. The surveillance state has continued to grow, in fact, under the Obama administration. Congress passed and the president signed a renewed Patriot Act in 2011. And in December of 2012, reauthorized an amended version of FISA, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, that essentially legalized Bush's illegal wiretapping operations. And now we know that the Obama administration and the NSA have used these laws to justify invasive spying programs in ways that even hardcore neocons like Jim Sensenbrenner, Republican right-winger extraordinaire and author, or a author, one of the authors of the original Patriot Act, find disturbing. Now, some politicians, like Oregon Senator Ron Wyden back in 2011, have been for some time trying to warn us about this alarming and top-secret trend. Here's Ron Wyden.
When the American people find out how their government has secretly interpreted the Patriot Act, they are going to be stunned and they are going to be angry.
And some former intelligence agency workers, like whistleblower Thomas Drake, have gone so far as to expose certain parts of the NSA's operations. For that, Drake is now in jail. But so far, all of these warnings have fallen on deaf ears, which is apparently why Edward Snowden stepped forward to show once and for all how massive and powerful and corporatized and privatized this so-called national security industry has grown under the past two administrations. Snowden was interviewed this morning in the South China Sea paper. It was one of the Hong Kong newspapers. And he said that he was neither traitor nor hero. I'm an American. This was the quote from Snowden. I would say the guy is a hero. You know, I would definitely say the guy is a hero. And in fact, we need more heroes like him. And it goes beyond that. I mean, here's an even bigger problem. And that is that when people like Snowden work for the CIA or the NSA, there are actually at law whistleblower protections. They're modest, but they're there. That would cover them. So if they're government employees and they're blowing the whistle, and they do it, you know, the quote appropriate way, there is some protection for them. Now, those protections need to be radically expanded and amplified. along with any press that might participate with a whistleblower being empowered as well. But here's the giant loophole. While there are even at-law whistleblower protections for some people in some industries, the intelligence industry is specifically carved out from the whistleblower protection laws. So whistleblowers in the intelligence industry, they got nothing. This is why Snowden went to Hong Kong. I mean, if he actually is a whistleblower, and I believe he is, and he was still working for the CIA or the NSA, arguably have some protections here in the United States. But working for a private contractor, and now there's over 1,000 of these giant contractors with billions, hundreds of billions of dollars in contracts to spy on us and others. Working for these private corporations, totally unaccountable. There's something fundamentally wrong about this. We need to, you can't have a functional democracy. You can't have a functioning republic. Whatever you want to call this country, a constitutionally limited democratic republic, a constitutional monarchy with the Supreme Court in charge, whatever. You can't have a nation that functions without some level of transparency, without the ability of people who are inside the machine to speak to us outside the machine and say, hey, this part of the machine is rotten, it's corrupt, it's dangerous, it's doing things it shouldn't be doing, it's breaking the law, it's violating the Constitution, whatever it may be. We can't have a functioning republic if we don't have that. And so I find myself in the odd company of Glenn Beck and Bernie Sanders in calling Edward Snowden a hero. I don't think Bernie's odd company, but I just think it's interesting that that across the spectrum there are people who are acknowledging. I mean, of course, you've got the people who are going to run to a camera or a microphone and go, death penalty, torture, treason, traitor, the knee-jerk nationalists, I would call them. But thoughtful people on both sides of the aisle, from Rand Paul to Bernie Sanders, thoughtful commentators, even hard-right conservative commentators, like Beck, are saying, this guy's a hero. And we need to make sure, now I'm not quoting Glenn Beck here, this is me, or Bernie Sanders or anybody else. This is what I have to say about it. We not only have to honor what Snowden has done, but we need to make it legal. We need to build in these protections. He has not revealed state secrets. He hasn't told us what he knows. He has simply told us what it is, how big it is, which is what Ron Wyden was trying to say on the floor of the Senate 2 years ago. 15 minutes past the hour.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
The national security state needs to be reined in, and most importantly, the industry itself needs to be put out of business.